How's it going? So here we are. We're drawing near to the end of our coaching series. This is going to be the last video. I hope that you've been encouraged by all of them. And so we're going to end on a very powerful note, okay? We're going to finish strong. I did say that the last one, I believe, was my favorite, it's most important because it changed my life. But this one right here, I'm telling you, is going to be the very thing that helps you to go further than you'll ever think that you can go in your life. We've talked about the brain, we talked about psychology, we talked about behavioral personality types, we've talked about goals, we've talked about so much. And today we're just gonna reel all of them in, okay? Now, the Bible says this, is that as a man thinks, so is he. So in essence, you are your thoughts. That the entire world was created from words, but what are words? Words are it is an expression of thoughts. And when the world was created, basically somebody thought of this and spoke this, and it was. And the reality of it is, if you're ever going to get there, it's because of your thoughts, the way that you think about it. We talked about the last video of how you have to see yourself, and that sight is what gives thought, and the thought is what creates words. And when you have these thoughts, those thoughts filter down into your heart, that thought is wrapped around or it is now impregnated with emotion, and then it spews up out of your mouth, and then life happens. What do you mean? So I see success. I see someone driving a Porsche Panamera, and I really want that car. I think it's one of the sexiest cars, and to me, I want that car. And so when I see that car, I then begin to think about what it would be like to have that car. How would it make me feel? How would it make me look? I begin to attach all of those senses that I talked to you about earlier. And so now, I now take all of these thoughts and I form a sentence by saying, I'm going to work hard to get that car. Those are the words. But now I don't have any emotion. I don't have any emotion. I don't have a lot of senses. I thought about it. I kind of thought of how it felt. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Porsche dealership and I'm going to test drive this car. And so now that you've experienced it, your blood is rushing, you're excited, it's better than what you thought it was gonna be. And so the car salesman asks you, so what do you think? And so now it's like, man, I'm telling you, by Christmas or at my birthday, this car is mine. I'm coming back to see you, man. Like, I gotta have it, I want it. And so now there is an attitude. You're not only saying it, but now when you say it, you believe it, because now you've had a taste and now you want more of it, right? And so for a lot of you guys, that's why at Wilson House we love doing field trips with home buyers, because we want you to get a taste of what it's going to be like. We love showing homes because it now like validates what you've been saying. And so now when you say it, there's more meaning behind it because of how you've taken these thoughts and given them words, and now you've mixed it in your heart, and then now your thoughts and words have gotten married with emotion, and now you have an attitude, and the attitude is basically nothing more than a disposition. So now you've basically taken a disposition, or now you've taken a position outside of yourself. So that's why I like your attitude, like, right? So now my body language has now it's telling you how I really feel and how I think and my mood and all of that. But now the attitude that I have toward meeting my goal is beyond a thought. It is beyond words. It is now taking action. Okay? So now, today, what I want to talk to you about is simply this. Imagination plus affirmation equals realization. Imagination plus affirmation equals realization. The most powerful thing that you got is your imagination. I don't know why when we become adults that we stop using our imagination. We think imagining things is for kids. But listen, the most powerful thing you got is an imagination. Because if you can't imagine something, then it means that it is now real to you. Now, it may not be real in the earth yet, but what happens is that you have to take what's in your head and you have to continue to tell yourself that it's true, and to the point where it really becomes true to not only you, but it also becomes true to yourself, because you're not only realizing it up here, now you're actually experiencing it. What are you talking about? Imagination, image, nation. You have a world inside your head, and you may not be able to imagine things because of all of the bad experiences, because the last time that you imagined something big, like nothing big ever happens to me. I never win anything. So like that's for kids. Those dreaming's for losers. It's about, I'm a realist, I'm an idealist. It's about what I see. But you are only gonna see as far as you can think. Okay, that's just the bottom line. So I want to free your mind. I want you to unlock your mind. I want you to give yourself permission to dream. Why do you have to drive that car? Why do you have to work at that job? Who says you have to make that amount of money? Who says that amount of money is too much? Who says that your kids have to be that way? Who says that you have to settle to marry that type of person? Who says you can't travel there? Who says you can't be that? Only you. Nobody else has permission to your mind. It is all on you. What can you imagine? How far can you go? How high can you go? What can you really experience? The only thing you can experience, the only thing you can have is only limited by what you can think, what you can imagine. There is a nation on the inside of you that wants to explode out into the earth so that everybody can experience it. People are waiting on your imagination. God has given you a creative ability to create something in the earth and the earth and everybody in it. They're waiting on you. They're waiting on you to birth it. But you got to believe that you can do it. You got to believe that you are it. You got to believe that it can become reality. But the way that you can prove that you believe it is through affirmation, through this affirming of yourself that says, it is true. This is who I am. This is not fake. That this is not fiction. This is actually gonna happen. This is when you take what seems to be fiction and you begin to add non-fiction so that it becomes real. This is when you take the none out of the fiction. Yeah, it's a fictitious thought. So what? So what? So what? I want to be a millionaire. But you know what? Every day I continue to affirm myself, my brain, my body, my systems, my money, everything has to align to what I'm telling it is. Okay? My money does not control me. I control my money. My schedule does not control me. I control my schedule. My kids don't run me. I run my kids. My car does not define me. I define my car. My outfit does not define me. I define my outfit. I am now in control, and I'm telling myself who I am. Nobody gets to define me. I define myself. That's affirmation. Affirmation is basically an I am statement. It is not I will, I want, I wish. It is I am. Everything you do, you have to do out of who you are. When we were talking about systems earlier, it's all about who you are. That's why system works, because you're doing it out of who you are. The reason why the DISC profile is important, because you understand who you are. And you have to continue to tell yourself, I am. Now, listen, you may or may not be a Christian, but I'm going to go back to the Bible again. There's this person by the name of God, Jehovah, all right? And so here it is. Jehovah, this is God, Yahweh, God, the creator of all mankind and everything we see and don't see, okay, God. There was this conversation that was having with this guy by the name of Moses, and Moses had a very big assignment. And he told Moses to go tell this king some news, right? And so he said, listen, I shouldn't even be going to the king. This opportunity, this position, this call is way too big for me. So you're not supposed to go and go tell another king what to do, because I don't have the authority. And so I want to know, like, what kind of authority do you want me to tell him that ascended me to tell him this? And he said, tell them that I am sent you. I am what? God calls himself I am. And the attributes of God, everything he does it out of who he is, right? And so he has all of these different names like Jireh and Sitkanu and Nisi and Banner. And so all these attributes of God points back to who he is, right? So now, enough of the Bible lesson, which I thought it was very good. I want to move on to tell you that that's how you are. People view you based on who you are. The only way people know who you are is what you do. What you do is a reflection of what you believe, and what you believe is a reflection of what you think. So whatever you think, that is how you behave, and how you behave is a reflection of what you believe, and people only can identify you by what you do. And so therefore, if you're doing what you believe, and what you believe is what you think, and what you think is who you are, then therefore the equation is very much true, that your imagination, what you can think, plus what is true to you and what you believe and who you are, that's realization. That is coming to a place of realization, and that's when things are going to pop off. That's when things are going to break through. That's when things are going to bust open, when you start dreaming, and when it becomes a part of you, okay? When it becomes your disposition, when you start walking around with an attitude like you already got it, okay? That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So here it is. I am statement. I want to challenge you to do this. I want you to take a few minutes, a few seconds, and I want you to close your eyes. And I want you to imagine your best life. And I want you to imagine a life where money is not an option, that you got all the time in the world. I want you to imagine the life that you used to imagine when you were 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. I want you to imagine this life that you really want to live based on nothing. You just want it. You don't have to have an explanation. You don't have to have a reason. You don't have to have a motive. I want to give you permission to close your eyes right now and to just imagine your best life. Do you see it? Do you feel it? What does that relationship look like? What does the house look like? What does your bank account look like? What does that next vacation look like? Who are you going to think? Who are you going to bless? What organizations are you going to give to? What places are you going to travel? What are you able to do for your children? Can you imagine that? Now it becomes real when you start telling yourself that's who you are. That I am a world traveler, that I'm a millionaire, that I am a successful businessman, that I am a very intentional and engaged parent. I am successful. I am a homeowner. I am fiscally responsible. I am emotionally responsible. I am a healthy person. The more you tell yourself who you are out loud. Now, you understand? Why do I gotta say it out loud? The reason why you have to say it out loud is because the way that the world was created through words have to be heard. Words cannot be interpreted unless it comes out of your mouth. Okay? It has to come out of your mouth. You got to hear yourself say it. You've got to say it. You got to say it to yourself. You got to say it so much until you trick your brain to believing that it's true. Because everything you do, everything you are, everything that you experience, there's a value and a belief that is attached to it. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to wake up your subconscious part of your brain. You're trying to wake it up to believe it so that you can realize it. Okay? So you can have it. This is what it looks like, okay? Take out a pen, another marker. Now, you got water. You got water. Now, just like the Titanic, right? Hit an iceberg. They only seen the iceberg and it looked small. But what it really was, it was really big. Now, you are in a boat. That's you, the boat. Now, the only thing you can see is this small tip of the iceberg. It's not so big. You can go over it. You can go around it. Whatever the situation is, right? Wrong. Because this is all life lets you see. You have a limited view. And so, as we become adults, we have all these experiences, we have all these hurts, all these habits, all these hang-ups, all this stuff going on. We got busy lives, busy schedules, and we stop dreaming. We only focus on what we can see and what we can experience, okay? We're only limited to our environment, to the job, to the grind of life. But you know what? In your mind, there's a big old world. There's a big old world that you're not even exploring, okay? There is so much to your life, and the only thing you can see and imagine is what you can see up here. Up here, this is what we call the conscious. This is what we see, and what's conscious. This is what we are aware of. That's what gives us awareness. We're only aware of what we experience. But under here, when we were talking about your story, when we were talking about having ghost riders and all of this stuff going on internally, hey, there's all of this stuff going on, and you got all of these experiences, and all of these experiences, and all of these things that you think that don't affect you, that you think that you think that it's over, and all of this stuff, all of these little cells, all of these experiences are grouping up, and they're telling you how to live your life. And so this is the only thing that you're aware of. You're only aware of what's conscious. But down here is your subconscious. This is your it is below the water. There is so much to you that you don't even believe about yourself because your imagination has been shrunk to what you see. But there is so much to the vastness of who you are. And when you get outside of yourself and you look from the boat, this is all you see. But there is more to you. There is a lot of values and beliefs that are causing you not to understand how you're made, how you're put together. You're pessimistic because your daddy was pessimistic. Everybody around you was negative. You don't mind smoking because everybody in your family smokes. So now it's created value system that smoking is valuable for me, and I believe that it's okay. Even if I know that it's not okay, it is okay because my subconscious tell me that it's okay. And so what you believe about religion or God, that is a value and a belief system. What you think about parenting, it is a value and a belief system. What you think about money is a value and a belief system. If you think that money is designed or is created for you to spend, then guess what? That is if you value something and that's your belief, when they hook up and get married, that becomes this cellular molecule in your subconscious that rises up. These things rise up all the time. And That's why when we hear certain music or we or see an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend, these feelings, these thoughts rise up and we try to push them down. We try to push them down. You're trying to suppress all of these thoughts. And what happens is you're telling yourself, yo, I got to be a grown-up, or I got to keep that at bay, or when I was raped, or when I was feeling this, or my kids make me think of this, and you try to shut down and you try to control all of these thoughts, but you're always feeling all of this, and the subconscious is always trying to come up, but you're trying to push it down. But what you've got to do is you've got to deal with these values and beliefs. And what you got to do is you got to start creating a new world. You got to start creating a new world, a new imagination. You got to have new thoughts. You got to have fresh thoughts. With all those values and beliefs, what you've got to do is you got to create a whole nother world. You need to make it up. You need to start telling yourself that I believe that I'm going to be a millionaire, and this is the value that I'm going to put on it. So much so that I'm going to sacrifice, I'm going to save, and I'm going to see a success. That's a new value belief. Why? Because I am that value belief. I am healthy. I believe that health is good. I value working out. It hurts me, but I am a healthy person. And what you have to do is you have to keep telling yourself that, so much so that the cells in your mind, that your unconscious, your subconsciousness has to start believing who you say you are. No, you haven't accomplished yet. No, you're not there yet. But you have to keep on telling yourself that this is who you are. You are creating a new life. You're writing a new story for yourself. You have to keep on telling yourself that you are what you want to see. And you've got to place value on it. If something is valuable, you're willing to pay for it. You're willing to sacrifice for it. You have a why. You have a big why. You can define the win. You know exactly what it is that you want. And you know why you want it. You know that your mom didn't succeed in that. Your dad didn't succeed in that. Your uncle didn't succeed in that, and everybody's betting and counting against you. But I want to let you know that if you really believe it, that you'll begin to think it, and you'll begin to tell yourself who you really are. You make yourself behave you. You control you. Nobody else controls you on the planet. I want you to start developing a different value system. Listen, if you want to quit smoking, the reason why you will continue to smoke is because you value it. And listen, even if you believe that it's bad, your actions say something different. Your actions say that I still believe that it's good. I want you to do self-affirmations all day. I want you to have Post-its on your speedometer. I want you to have them Post-its on your refrigerator, Post-its in your cabinet, Post-its at your desk. I want you to have Post-its everywhere, and I want you to have affirmation statements, and I want you to say them out loud. Even if you whisper it, I am healthy, I am successful, I am fiscally responsible, I'm a great investor, I'm a great parent, I am a positive person, I am a positive thinker, I am a big thinker, I am an entrepreneur, I am a great employee, I am a great servant, I'm a great pastor, I'm a great leader, I am a great community advisor, I'm a great philanthropist. What am I saying? So you have to tell yourself who you are, okay? Don't say what you're going to do. Don't say what you intend to do. I want you to tell yourself. Look yourself in the mirror every day. Look at yourself, hear yourself, change your imagination. Make your brain believe what you want to be your new reality, and it will become it. And I'm not talking about hocus pocus stuff. I'm talking about you developing and training yourself to become the greatest you so that you can live your greatest life.